Christian voice here again, coming to you live from the dining room with the clean kitchen behind me. All right, so we had a little bit of a delay getting people signed in today because our recurring set of webinars here, I didn't think it was going to go this long. So it had expired, and so I had to add a few new webinar times. So I did. So we will meet today, and we'll meet Thursday, and we'll meet next Tuesday and next Thursday. And if there's more stuff to do, I will do it. There probably will be more classes to do. I don't know if we'll be on the same schedule. I don't know if they'll still be free, but everything, including next week, still on me. Okay, so let's talk about this a little bit. Hi, Betsy. Let's talk about this a little bit today. We're going to be talking about iPhone photos. Okay, so here's your handout. I hope you got your handout. It was in the email that went to you. You'll be all right without the handout, but it's nice if you've got it. So little house cleaning, housekeeping. This week, it's not hands-on. It's the same routine where I show you how to do something, and you can play along if you want. But next week, we're going to be editing on the editing photos in the Photos app on the iPhone. And then on the following Thursday, a week from this Thursday, we'll be editing photos using the Photos app on the Mac. And in both those cases, I'm going to prepare some images for us to work on together. You'll do what I do, and you'll see how you can make your pictures better. Okay, so that's what's coming up, all right? And I think that's all the housekeeping we have to do today. So let's get started. So today I'll do what I always do. This is my iPhone 8 Plus with the home button, and then I'm going to share that screen because that screen's a little bit bigger. Better for you, better for me. But all the things I'm showing you will work on any iPhone running iOS 13, which is what I'm doing today. Photos app. You've all got one. It may not be where mine is showing, but you've all got one. So let's just jump right in. So we're only going to show today how to use the Photos app, but not how to edit photos, right? We're going to do that next week. So let's start with just getting around in photos. Now, before I get a comment about this, when you look at the top of my photos here, you can see that it says 2037. Okay, well, this is obviously a mistake. I don't have any pictures from the future. It turns out that this is going to be a lot easier to fix on Thursday. So I'm going to fix it Thursday. But the problem with this is that these pictures down here at the bottom, this section here, these pictures were taken before the iPhone was invented, and the camera that they were taken with didn't have the right time and the right date. So as a result, they are showing up in the future here. So I always have to scroll past them. So if that's a problem for you, that's great, because I'm going to teach you how to fix that problem on your Mac on Thursday. Okay, so let's talk about getting photos into the Photos app. There are a lot of ways to do it. I mean, one way is you use the camera. So cameras, everyone knows how to use a camera. Here's a camera. I'll take picture me, and the picture is now in Photos. If I go and look, here's Photos, and where you'll see it, in my case, we see it right where, predictably right here, because these other pictures are the ones with the wrong date. Okay, so I'm going to fix that wrong date thing, but what's supposed to happen is the newest pictures you take should show up at the end of the list. It makes a lot of sense. It's a nice feature. And really, it's lesson number one is to know which order these pictures are sorted in. So when you're in the photos section down here at the bottom, and you are on all photos like this, they're sorted in the date that was stamped on the picture. Now, what's supposed to happen is it's supposed to be the same. That's supposed to be the same date that they were added to your photo library too. But I'm going to show you how that's not quite right. So what's happened with these bad pictures is it's messed up my order. But let me show you another way to get a picture in, and I think it will demonstrate more of how this works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture that somebody sent me in a text message. So let's go to text messages here. I'm going to go to my messages, and I'm going to look at a picture that Mom sent me. So I'm going to go way back a few months here, maybe not so far. Here's it's a nice picture of seagulls, but I want a different picture. Okay, here's I'm going to find that picture. Here's a nice loaf of bread. Now you can see from the date on this here, Mom sent this on Wednesday last week. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remember that because we want to add this picture. How do we add this picture to our photos? Well, we touch it, it gets big, and then we go down to share. This is why we've got our old friend Superman with the share button on his chest in our handout, because for some reason or another the share button is the magic button. So I'm going to tap the share button, and in here, if we just scroll up a little bit, we'll see save image right here. Okay, so let's save the image. So when you save it, where it goes is into the photos. That's not really obvious. It'd be nice if it said save to photos, but it doesn't. So let's go take a look at photos. Let's see where it is. Okay, now I added it today, right? I added it today, but it's not right next to me with my waving hand. It's not here, right? Where is it? Well, we got to go back and find it. There it is. Okay, here's the loaf of bread right here. So first thing to know here is what I already told you, that when you are looking at pictures in this list, you're looking at them according to the date stamp that was put on them by the camera, or in your case by your iPhone. So if you have a camera that has that isn't an iPhone and it has a calendar or a date and time on it, a clock, set it properly. Otherwise, it messes up your photos when you bring them in. Okay, easy enough. Now, of course, we can bring pictures in from other places. We can get a picture could have been airdropped to me. You could get that in that way too. The last thing I'm not going to show you how to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a screenshot. So let's say you're looking at how many steps you're not taking. So today, apparently, I've taken 0 steps. No, I took 28 steps. That's good. But remember, this is not my main iPhone, so I took more steps. So we're going to take a screenshot of this, and when I take a screenshot, it goes to photos as well. So remember, on the iPhone, it's hold the side button and the home button if you've got one, and if not, it's the side button and the volume up button. So we'll take this picture. Okay, so there's a picture. Okay, and when we have this picture, if I don't do anything, it kind of disappears, and where it's disappeared to is photos. So if I look here, indeed, here's the photo. It's the newest picture I've snapped, so there it is. Okay, so that's good to know, and it turns out that Apple, in their viewing section, they've sorted things so that screenshots are in their own little category if you want them to be. So let's go have a look at that now. I'm going to look at the bottom here where it says albums, right there. And when we look at the albums, and up at the top, it's up at the top here, it tells me which album I'm in. We're going to tap this albums button right here to go back and see all the albums. And let me clear off those blue dots there. Okay, so when you look at your albums, you can see that there's media types, and one of the media types is screenshots. So if you don't want to wipe through all your pictures to find your screenshots, well, they're all right here. So if I tapped that, I would see over and over screenshot, screenshot, screenshot. So that's a lot of screenshots, and that's for the classes basically. Okay, so I want to go back to this section here, because when you're looking at your thumbnails like this, it turns out that there's something you can do to make them a little easier to see, and that's up here. That's your little plus and minus. So I'm going to tap the plus and minus, and when I do, what I get is another plus and minus and a big X next to it. So I'm going to tap the plus. So I'm working up here, right? Okay, so I'm going to tap the plus, and as you can see, they're bigger. Makes them easier for me to see. Okay, and if I tap it again, they get bigger yet, and now I've got to scroll them up one at a time. There's no side to side. There's all the pictures. So that's nice. That's really nice. All right, when you're done with this, you can tap the X up here, and it goes back to sort of normal. But it's normal, but it's still big. So I'm gonna go back to the plus and minus. I'm gonna minus it a little bit and get back to a little smaller look. And you can go smaller yet. If you went really small, now you can see a lot. And when you're seeing a lot, sometimes it's easier for you to figure out where you want to go. So here's June. As I scroll here comes May. Here comes April. So if I knew there was something that I did in February, I could, there's February. I could go and look, and here's some, looks like a purple flower in February. I'm going to tap that, and here's these flowers. So it's nice to go small sometimes. So that's all up to you. So I'm gonna try to put it in sort of a medium view here, like that. Okay. So what else would you do? Well, when things are when you're viewing things like this and you can see a lot of pictures, you might want to select them and do something with them, right? You might want to put them into an album. So let's say it turns out that these pictures, these all look like pictures that I took back in, well, they're obviously pictures I took in February, but they're wildflowers and stuff. So I'm going to try to take some of these pictures and put them in an album. So the easy way to do this is you use this select button up here. So when I tap select, I'm not going to tap it yet, because if I tap a picture now, when I tap a picture, it gets big. But if I go back and I tap select first, and now I tap a picture, it just sits there with a little check mark on it. Okay. All right. So I want to tap all 9 of the pictures you see there. In fact, I want to tap maybe 10 of them. Well, it's no fun to do this. Tap, tap, tap. So we're not going to do that. I'm going to cancel that. We're going to start over. I mean, you can tap, tap, tap. It works. It will certainly work. But if I go to select again, and I tap on one of them, and I just keep my finger down, I can just wipe through them. Okay, so I just put my finger on it, wiped through. That's nice. So now they're all selected, and I see I missed one, so I'll just go ahead and tap that one too. So now that I've got these, what am I going to do? Well, there's a lot of things I can do. So knowing how to select them is really nice. If there was one that I didn't care for, I can certainly turn them off. They don't have to be all in a row, but these are the ones I want. What could we do with these? Well, we could, let's use our share button, right? What do we always do? Use the share button. So down here. So I'll tap the share button. And now I could text these to somebody, right? I could text them to Mom. So that'd be nice. I could I could do a text message to somebody else. I can also scroll up here, and I can do things like add to an album. So I want to put them in, that's exactly what I want to do. I want to put them in an album. Okay, so I'm going to tap add to album, and they're going to say, okay, which album is that? Well, maybe I don't have an album for this yet. If I did, I could pick an album and put them in where I want them to go, okay? But I don't have the album yet that I want. So I'm going to take this opportunity to make a new album. So I'm just going to tap where it says, this whole thing is tappable. We'll tap up there and make new album. And I'm going to call this 2020 Wildflowers. Okay. Unfortunately, they're helping me type, so I'm gonna take their suggestions and save that. And now there they go. Okay, so they're still here. They're still in all photos. This is one of the things that you need to understand is when you have photos, they're never in two places. They're just sort of categorized in two places. So if I went to that album, I'll go to albums now across the bottom, and if I look for that album that I just made, and all my albums are up here, I can tap where it says see all. That's one thing I can do, but I can also swipe across this way and see my albums too. So if I can't remember what my albums were, if I can't remember, where it is, I could search for that as well. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do see all, and I'm going to see if I can. Here it is, 2020 Wildflowers, right in front of me. If I wanted to take one of these pictures out, I would only be taking it out of the album. I wouldn't be throwing it away. So I'm going to get rid of the one at the top left. I'm going to tap select up here. More than one way to do it. I could tap the picture and just decide I don't want it and tap the trash can, and that one's gone. Right, that works. And you see what it says. This is an important box. Am I trying to delete the photo or just get it out of the album? Well, I just want to get it out of the album. It's just still a good picture. I'm not sure that I want it in the album. That's all. And so if we go back here and look at the pictures, I could also use the select button up at the top right and take out a couple of these pictures. So I'll take maybe this one and that one. And now that they're selected, I can do a mass deletion here. And that mass deletion could be hundreds of pictures. Okay, so I'll just get rid of these two. And once again, they're going to ask me, what do I want to do? And this is what I want to do. I want to remove them from the album. Okay, so let's do that. So just, take a note here. We've got 3 purple flowers where we used to have 5. And if we go back and we look at all photos, I still have all 5, right? So I didn't delete the pictures. I just got them out of the album. So a picture could be in hundreds of albums, and it wouldn't make any difference at all. It wouldn't take up more room. So there's a lot of reasons why you might want to have a picture in more than one album. Okay, so here's my favorite album. When you tap albums, you have one that's called Recents. And Recents is everything you've done lately, which is great. So here's my screenshot. Here's my loaf of bread. Here's me waving. This is what you expect, and this, it's very easy when things are recent like that. So I'm going to select those guys, and I'm going to say goodbye, 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 and tap the trash can in the bottom corner, and I'm really deleting these, okay? And they tell you this is really going away, right? So fine, and that's exactly what I want to do. Okay, the recent album isn't an album that you make, it's an album that they make. So they're running the show there. All right, let's see. Let's look at the year, month, day thing. When you look at photos, when you start down here with the photos button here, and then you're on all photos here, that's great. You kind of expect to see what you're seeing. This all makes sense. Okay. But what we're going to do instead is we're going to go years, months, and days. So I'm going to tap where it says years down. It's all going to be this stuff down here. All this stuff down here. So I'm going to tap years. And what we see here, of course, this is the future. That's 2037, which we're going to fix on Thursday. But here's stuff from 2020. Here's stuff from 2019. Here's stuff from 2018. And I don't know what all this, how they picked their favorite pictures here, but they picked them, and that's fine. So this is case you wondered, that's how I looked in 2019, and this is how I'm going to look in 2037. That's nice. Okay, so when you're doing years, this is great because then I can scroll around. I can say, well, here's a picture from, you know, here's 2005. Let's see what's happening in 2005. And now here's July 2005, and here's August 2005, and here's December 2005. So it's a handy way for you to browse your stuff. And so I went from years, and then when I touch something here, I go to months, and now I'm in the months, and now I can go to days if I want. And so let's pick another day here. Here's my uncle feeding the fish on a certain day, August 24th. So it all depends on how you want to do things. To me, it's easier to go, if you start with years, if you're looking for something in a hurry, use the years and scroll around until you find the right year and then tap. Now, it doesn't mean that we can't do a search, and we're going to. Remember, we can do a search with our button down here. And last week, we did a search using Siri. And if you're looking carefully here, you see it says curating best photos. This is something that's kind of a surprise to a lot of people. So the Photos app is doing work behind your back when it's connected to power and when it's not being used, when it's dark. It goes through your photo library and it tries to find duplicates, and it deals with those. It tries to find the best pictures to show you so that they can provide a special album for you based on your best pictures, and they analyze and figure out what's best. They're also analyzing to figure out what's in them. And they're also analyzing to find faces. So we're going to deal with all that stuff in just a little bit, but for now, just know that it's doing work, and you can see I didn't tell it to do this stuff, it's just doing it. All of the work that it's doing, all the processing is done on the phone. It's not done in iCloud, all right? And there's good and there's bad about that. The good news is that Apple's servers do not know who's in your pictures. They don't know they don't know what's in them, who's in them. They don't know anything. So that's good. The bad news is that when your Mac does the same analysis, because they're really different programs, the photos on the Mac and the photos on the iPhone, you may end up with slightly different results. So if I look for cows on my phone, which I'm going to do now, I may find, let's say I find 30 pictures of cows. Well, on the Mac, when I look for cows, I might find 31 or 29. So that's just the way it goes, but that's the cost of doing things locally, and it's a privacy issue, and that's the way Apple decided to do it. Okay, so let's go do that search for cows. So I'm gonna tap my little search button down there that's been blue all this time. Okay, so I'm gonna search and I'm gonna look for cows. Okay, and I got 28 pictures of cows. Now what you see right now is 8 pictures of cows, but I could tap where it says see all, and we'll see all our cows. And here they are. And so Apple's curating is not going to show me the same picture or pictures that are really close to the same when they present that first list of pictures. And you can see there's 2 little mistakes here. This cow is actually a dog, and this cow is actually a painting of a dog. But the rest of them are cows, so that's pretty good work. The question's been asked about recents. Where is recents? Well, let's go back to albums. In albums, if you go all the way back, you would see, just a second, touch where it says see all, and there's recents. All right, so I think I forgot to tell you to see all. When you're back here in my albums like this, I don't think you're gonna. Yeah, you may see it if I push all the way over here. Let's see. Yeah, there's recents too. It should be the first one, top left. Okay. Okay, so let's go back to our cows. I'm gonna search for cows, and here they are. Let's go back on this search, and notice here that we have just the one category of cows. Well, let's do something a little bit different. I'm gonna clear out that category, and I'm gonna look for horses. Like we've done this before. We look for a horse. Now I have 120 pictures of horses, but if I slide up here, you can see that there are other things that I might have been looking for. Like I might have been looking for pictures that were taken on Horseshoe Drive, or I might have been looking for pictures that I actually titled, like Horse in the Flowers. Okay, so there's it's worth sliding up and seeing what's going on there. All right, so let's look for one other thing here. I'm going to switch to page 2 here to make our move. Yeah, okay, so that's exactly what I wanted to do with the search. Now I want to show you about memories. So this has changed a lot. These buttons down here across the bottom have sort of shifted around, and they've had different labels, and they've done different things. But what they're going to do now, what they're doing today is, you got photos which we know about, we got albums that we know about, the search that we know about, but we don't know anything about For You. And that's too bad. This one gets ignored a lot. So let's not ignore it. Let's do something about it. So when we go to For You, what you see, the first thing you see is something called featured photos. Now this is kind of what Apple was doing when they were going through our photos, and you saw that it was processing and it was analyzing pictures. It's trying to find the best ones. So they like this one. Not bad. They like this one. They like this one. I don't know what this one is. I don't like this one, but they like this one. Me too. Here's a nice blue bonnet. Good picture. So they've picked out some good pictures for us. Another good picture. But let's look at some of these pictures and see what they suggest here. So here's a picture where they're saying, we suggest we fix this picture using studio lighting. Well, we'll do that next week. That's editing the picture, but they make these suggestions for you, which are nice. Then they have memories. Okay, so memories, there's a whole bunch of memories here. You can go through these and you'll see many more if I tap where it says see all, but let's just look at this one memory here. We'll look at this one where Mom and I are at the football game. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to look at this album. So I'm just going to tap it. And when you do this, what you see is a little bit of a change. It doesn't look that different, but here are some pictures. You're starting to see the pictures that are involved here. And you see that actually it's changing as we wait. You see this, the big picture's changing. And what we're going to do is we're going to hit the play button down here. Okay. So step 1 is we're going to tap that play button. So here we go. Let me hide that blue box there. Okay. I'm going to tap the play. Here we go. Let's see if I can tap it. Turn up the volume a little bit. Let's see if we've got some sound. I got to turn up my sound, I think. You may not hear this, but there's music. You have to take my word for it. Not sure why they're not taking my music today. But there is music, okay? There's music. It's a great little slideshow. And when you try it, you'll hear it, and it's nice. Okay, so here was our little movie. Okay, so it turns out when you're done playing it, you can edit this, and if you, in fact, you didn't even have to wait for it to finish. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to play this again, and I'll show you that we can play it a little bit here, and I'm just going to tap it to stop. Okay, and see, now I see a pause button down here. So I can edit this by, first of all, I can change music. Okay, so this is the extreme, is the kind of thing you do when you've taken pictures of a motocross race or something. All right, and over here, these are the ones where you're taking pictures of snow falling. And senior prom pictures, nice quiet stuff. In between is for in between. So you get to pick the music. And you also get to pick, if you have enough pictures, you can pick between being short, like this, or medium or long, okay? And you can share this with somebody. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share it. All right, so if you, remember this is in iOS 13, so if you're not on iOS 13, you're not going to see memories the way I saw it. So here, let's share this. So I'm going to tap the share button down at the bottom like we always do, and I'm going to send this to Mom. Okay, so it exports this as a movie, and she should get it. Maybe because I've got my sound turned off. I might play this again and see if it gets louder. Okay, so off it goes. And let's see if I get sound now. No, I guess I don't, but sorry about that, but trust me, there's sound. When you do it, you'll like the sound. Okay, so when we have a memory like this, we can edit it. And so what we do is we pause it. Down at the bottom, I had the play pause button. I'm going to go up to the top right, and we're going to edit this. All right, so first things we can do is I can change the title. So I'm going to tap here. So I'm going to call this just at the game. Okay, so that's nice. So I changed the title. I can change the image that it uses for the title. So I'll tap again, title image. Maybe we like this one. Okay, I know we're not really at the game there, but pretend we like that one the best. Okay, Mom says she got it. Mom, let us know if you hear the sound if you play it. Now down here, photos and videos. This is where we get to either add or remove pictures from this memory. So let's tap down there and let's see what happens. Okay, so here are pictures, and Mom got the sound. Thank you, Mom. So let's say maybe there's a picture that's not so stirring. I mean, this one's a lot like this one. So why don't we take one of them out? I can just hit the trash can down here rather, and that one's gone. Okay, and when you have a movie clip in your memory, you can edit how long that movie clip's going to be up at the top here. You see, I can stretch out, play it a little longer, a little less. All right. You can also add a picture. So down at the bottom here, I hit the plus, and maybe there's one more picture that we really liked from this event. Maybe this one here, another with Bob's Big Boy. We'll have two. Good color to take that one better. All right, so that's how you make memory. And when you're done, you're done. But we could also choose different music, and we can also choose how long, but we don't have that many pictures, so it's not going to be so useful to make it much longer. We can make it shorter. Okay, so that takes care of that, and we're done. But now, where did this thing come from? I mean, I didn't do this. It just showed up. Okay, so this is one of the things that that Photos does for you, is it makes these memories. They just show up. So what you should do is you should go to the For You section, and you should scroll down until you find memories, and you should see all these terrific memories. So, here's another memory. I didn't make this. I didn't title it, but they know where I was. Where I was in the two towns of Esparto and Cape Hay. If I play this album, this memory, it just plays it. There's Mom, hiya, and Queen of the Almond Festival. So lots of fun stuff. Car show, almonds, Mom, the whole thing. So I'll pause that now. So these are just made for you. But now, if they're made for you and you want to keep them, that's what you gotta do a little something here. And so on your handout, I said click the blue button. Yeah, that's this blue button up here. So let's tap that blue button and let's see what we've got. So one of the things I'm going to do, I'm going to add it to my favorite memories. So now I have this thing for keeps. All right. So when we do that, if I look in the memories and I say see all, there's going to be some of these that are, you know, I should probably go through these and find the ones I really want to keep. I probably did already go through and keep some of these, but it's nice to keep your favorite memories so they don't go anywhere, right? You want to keep them, right? And yeah, that's all I want to show you about the memories. But remember to keep them, and remember to look, see what's been done, and then share them. Now the way I share them, so the way you ought to share them is with messages, because when you send a movie by email, the movie's almost always too big, and the email is going to be rejected. So send it through messages, and the person's going to get it. All right, so that's that. Now I want to show you also the people album. All right, so the people is really neat. Let's go back to albums down here at the bottom. And when you go to people, you got to scroll around a little bit here, but here they are. Here's people and places. So when you go to people, so here's the people, and here's the places. Okay, so we're going to do both of these. We'll cover both of those. So when we go to people, what we see are, on the top we see our favorite people, and then further down we see all these other people. Some of them have been identified, and some of them have not been identified. Like, for example, this one right here, we don't know who that is, or at least I haven't identified who that is. And this one over here, this is my scale, and they think that that's a face. Okay, so I didn't do this. All right, so the program goes through and picks people out. They say, okay, that looks like a face, that looks like a face, that looks like a face. So it's entirely possible for us to add people or things that aren't really people, like a dog. You can add a dog. That's certainly possible. You can add, you know, Winnie the Pooh if you want. So, but that's more of a manual job, because the computer is, or the phone is not going to figure out that dog's quote unquote a person. Okay, so now what do you do when you have these? What good is this? Well, let's say we wanted to find a bunch of pictures of my friend Mark, and when you have somebody who's not named, what you do is you tap that person. So I'm gonna do this here. It's a friend of Dee's, and I don't know who it is. So I'm gonna I could go up here and say add name, and I could say this is, you know, Susan or something. I don't know who it is, so I'm not gonna do that. But that's how you do it. But you see, most of these have names already, because I've gone through and put the names on. I only had that one that I didn't do. So let me find my friend Mark here, and I'm going to show you what we do with our names here. So where'd Mark go? I know he's in here. Here he is. Here's my friend Mark. All right, so here's Mark. So when I tap Mark, what I get is all the pictures of Mark. And if I go through here, I can see a bunch of pictures of Mark. Okay. So if I do the show more, it shows me as many pictures of Mark as it can find. All right. And if I come up here to the top with our little blue button, I think there's going to be something good for us there. So I could, yeah, this is exactly what I want. I want to confirm additional photos. So after Photos has gone through and figured out that that's a person, once they know that there's a person in a picture, they don't necessarily know enough to attach it to a certain person. So we have to help a little bit. So we're going to help. We're going to tap confirm additional photos. And so now they're asking, is this Mark? And I'm going to say, yes, it is. All right. And now you see it says that I added 2 pictures of Mark. How did that work? Well, the one that I added was enough like some other ones, like one other one, that it knew that that other one must be Mark also. So you don't have to work very hard. If I had 1,000 pictures of Mark and they all looked about the same, when I tap a couple of them, they'll figure out the rest. So it's really neat. So I'm going to say done up here at the top right. So now what do I do with this? Well, guess what? This could be an album, a memory itself. So I can tap down here to play. And see, that's somebody who's not Mark. That's his friend. Well, that's his other friend. There's Mark. So, this is something that I could stop this thing. And you see this one, there's enough pictures for me to make short or medium. And I could hit the little text button, a little share button down here, and I could send it to Mark. So I'll do that right now. And it's got to figure out how to make this movie work. Bunch of old pictures. You're going to be surprised to get these pictures, but here they come. All right. Put in Mark here. There it goes. I'll just say some pics. All right. So that's a nice thing that you can find these people. Now, of course, when you look at a person's collection of pictures here, you notice that these pictures they're not purely of Mark. I mean, this one is, but the previous one wasn't. But it doesn't matter. They still find all the faces in a picture. Really nice. Okay, and these guys are being funny. They traded hats and glasses. It's Mark's over there. All right, so there you have it. So that's people, and you should go to your albums like this, and you should go to people and places like this, and you should find the people that it's found, and you should tap on them, and you should name the people. It makes it very easy. Once they're named like that, then you can say, show me all the pictures of Mark. So I'm going to do that. Let's see if I called it Mark or Mark Edwards here. Where is Mark? There he is. So I could do this. I could look for Mark Edwards. And you see they're already guessing. They know I have a Mark Edwards here, and it's a lot easier for me to find those 54 this way than it is for me to do it some other way, right? So if I do this, here's all these pictures. Mark, Mark, Mark. So that's the benefit of naming the person. Instead of, you might be tempted to think, well, I recognize this person. I don't need to name them. I know what I'm doing. Well, yeah, better this way, right? This way you can ask for them by name. Okay. So that's a person. That's nice. Let's look at places. So places is kind of the same deal, but not quite. So let's go. I'm gonna go back here to the albums. We've got the people album, and now we're gonna do the places album. So what they're telling us here, by the way, that there's 72 different faces that they've found, different people they think. 72. That's pretty good, and 29,894 places. And the phone's got a GPS in it. It knows where you are. So when you take a picture, it can put it into an album based on location. So let's do that. Let's look at places. So when we do this, it's showing me a nice map, and I'm going to go up north here. So here's the first thing you need to know. Really only two things to know. If you tap once, you see those pictures. So if I tap up here where it shows me 1,773 pictures, that's a lot. If I do that, then I'm going to see those pictures. So here I go. I tap, and here are the pictures. All right, and this is, that was not a pinpoint kind of location. So here's a number of pictures taken over the years up north somewhere, Garberville, Scotia. You see the cities going by: Trinidad, Prairie Creek Redwoods, which we visited, I think, last week. at least last week in our classes, right? So all these neat pictures from way up north, really fun. Reading. Okay, so that's what happens if you just tap the way I tapped. I tapped once, right here, and I got all the pictures, and that's really good. But if I double tap, it zooms in a little bit. So I'm going to keep double tapping. And you see now, we see that there's some pictures. There's 160 of them that were in Washington, up there, Seattle area. We've got 1,335 that were in Oregon. We've got these here that are Northern California. So I guess it was these two and maybe a few more. So that's how you drill down. So if it turns out what I wanted was just the ones up there in Washington, well, I'm getting there. So if I tap again, now I'm seeing, but not quite Washington. I'm still in Oregon here, but you can see that these are pictures that have been narrowed down by place. And I'm going to go back a little bit more, and we can zoom in some more. Another double tap, right? Double tap again. So now I see, aha, here's 70 of them up there, right here. These are the ones I want to get. This is what I was looking for. So I'll tap those once, and now we have these pictures. So here's the town of Langley. Here's my friend Rick. Here's the bunny rabbit outside my hotel. And here's the view. Sensational. Look at this place. So, so that's how you use places. Now, that means that, of course, you can do things like this. Since the places are, if you want to do it this way, if you want to do the pinching back, right? I'm pinching down here to collapse this stuff. If you want to just use the map and sort of point and say, oh, yeah, I want these pictures that I took in. This looks like Bismarck, North Dakota. If I want those pictures, I've got them. I can do it sort of by exploring. That's fun. But I can also do it by searching with our magnifying glass. So I'm come up here, and I can say, suppose I'm looking for, let's say, I'll look for Davis. Pictures I took in Davis. All right. Well, here we go. And here they are, 1,198. So I can. This is also done by place, but the maps way is kind of fun. If I do it like this, nothing wrong with this, right? This is fine. But I could even drill in and get closer and closer and closer, further and further zoomed in on Davis if that's what I wanted to do. So that was what I wanted to show you about places. But I want to show you one more memory thing. Almost forgot. Sorry. Let me show you something about making a memory. Let's say that you go to your albums down here. It doesn't matter what kind of album you have. I showed you an album based on a person. We turned it into a memory. We sent it to Mark. I can show you here if I go to places and let's go up here and I'll pick some pictures. If I was smart, I would tap select like I'm supposed to. So I'll just tap select, and I'll take these pictures, and I could come down here and I can share them. I can make a slideshow out of them. Do a lot of fun things with these. But what I really want to show you how to do is, if you have an album already, okay, let's see if we have an album already, which I think we do. We have lots of albums. Let me show you what we're going to do. We're going to get out of this. And I'm going to go here, see all my albums. So let's find ourselves a nice album here. Okay, so here's a nice one, nice trip. Okay, so what am I going to do with this album? Well, I can, with this album, I can, see what we got down here at the bottom. It's a lot of photos, 168 photos. And what we're going to do, we're going to go to select, and I can select them all like this. Now it turns out that's a lot of dragging, but if you look up at the top, select all is right there. So let's select them all. Now that I've selected them all, let's do a little sharing here, and let's see a slideshow out of those. Okay, so here they go, and it should, hopefully it'll rotate through here. So really nice to make these little slideshows. And see if I can pause it here. Yes, so down at the bottom I've got a pause button. Okay. Up at the top, what I have here is our AirPlay button. So if you have an Apple TV, you could be sending this to the Apple TV. Really cool. And let's look down here. We have some options. Let's just check those out too. So we can change the music. We can change whether it's going to repeat. We can change how fast it goes. So I'll make this go a little faster so we get through it. Okay, so hopefully this will scroll through a little faster. You get the idea. So it's really fun to be able to do stuff like this, and there you go. So select all, we knew, deselect all now. Really, really, really nice. That's it. So that concludes our class for today. Now, Thursday, we're going to do something very, well, something comparable. It won't really be so similar with the Mac photos, because even though they both have the same name, they even have the same icon, they're not exactly the same. And some of the stuff that you know from the Photos app on the phone won't carry over to the Mac, and vice versa. And certain things are going to be a lot easier on the Mac than on the phone. So you can do an awful lot with the phone, but you can't do all of it. Like I cannot fix my my problem here where I have pictures from 2037. I can't fix that here. Okay, I have to fix that on the Mac. And so on Thursday I'll fix it, and everything else turned out great. Thanks for coming, and we will have classes next week. All right, I wasn't going to, but you're welcome, Mom. We will do classes next week, and we might even do some more. We'll see. All right, thanks for coming. Over and out.